Hey class, this is the 116 direction video for digital component identification. You got this under the assignments tab, unit 1. You're going to watch this video. It's going to show you how to make the different circuits within this activity. You're then going to fill out the truth table for when a 0 or a 1's coming through. That just means simply is the circuit engaged or not engaged? Is there voltage coming through or not? And I'll kind of go through that with you. And then the Z is the output on the other end. Down here, same thing. You're going to have two switches. And we just have the different combination of those two switches, off and on and off, or on and on. And you're going to set it so that when you hit the Z, the X, and the Y buttons, these will toggle back and forth. You'll see these light up if it's activated or not, and then you'll see what's happening on the Z, which is the output. Okay, so you're going to be filling in these charts. You're going to be learning about AOI gates, basic digital circuitry. Okay, so after you're done filling out the gate, you're going to answer the question, and then you're going to put a picture of the circuit that you create in here. I want your circuit to look just like this. Regarding if they have the probe listed as an X, I want it as an X. I want it to match with the switch that should be controlled with that letter. Always have your output as a Z. Make sure your voltage is going to be 5 volts. Make sure your ground is a digital ground, okay, with this triangle. So I'll kind of go through that. Okay, so you need to know where these are. This is your first circuit. Once it's made, just turn it on. And we have the key equals X. So when I hit the X button, turns it on, turns it off, turns it on, turns it off, turns it on, turns it off. That's a 0. That's a 1. That's a 0. That's a 1. No current going through, current going through. Okay. So you're going to use that to help fill out the truth table. Okay. Let's find out where all these components are. Let's turn this off. So underneath, place component or select a component. Underneath of source for power sources, this VCC, you're going to need that. And the D ground, not the regular ground, but the digital ground with this triangle. There you go. Then I'll just hit OK. If it isn't 5 volts, you can go ahead and double click in there and set it to 5 volts. Okay. All digital circuits that we deal with are going to have 5 volts. Okay, next thing is we need the switch. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go under basic, switch, and we want the single pole double throw. So single pole, double throw. Here's a single pole, single throw, single pole, double throw. Go ahead and hit OK. Bring it in, hit close. We want to reverse it so that the switch is toggling to the left and not toggling to the right like this one down here would be doing. Okay. You can double click into it to change the value for the toggling. So right now it's space. If you needed it to be X or a Y, you can go ahead and just assign that, hit OK. And now when I hit the Y button instead of the space, this one will toggle. Okay. To reverse it, right click it, flip horizontally. There we go. To wire it up, just like before, we're just going to wire it like so and like so. So we need to get this probe, and then we need to get this not inverter gate, and you're going to be looking them up by the name of this. And we'll be talking more about this later when we look at the spec sheets for integrated chips. So we're going to go here, source, let's go to indicators, and then we have these different probes. So you can select whatever probe color you want. Let's do that one. There's a blue one. And I'll do red for the output end. Hit close. We want this to be called Z. So double click in, the label. Let's call that Z. Oh, okay. All right. So I can't call this Z right now because there is one called Z up here. So if you get rid of the circuit when you're done, or you can take this one and alter it. So that's how you change it though. So I can't put this to Z because I already have one Z. So you know what? I'll just call this Z hyphen Z1. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and find this one right here under source or select component under group. We're going to come down here to TTL, and we wanted the 74LS series 04N. You can always type it in too. Hit OK. Oh, and then you have to assign a letter to it. Okay, so I just hit A. There we go. Cancel. And at this point, we could wire this up. Now we could come right here and bring the probe on. The probe is just showing you if it's activated or not. And on this end, like so. Now we just made the same circuit that we had down there. In the event that you needed two switches, you just bring in two switches. You're going to wire it the same way here, like this. Make sure you assign the X and the Y and make sure that your probe matches those switches. Make sure you get in the correct logic gate, and then make sure your output is set, and then make sure you fill it out. Either way, you'd hit OK, and I'll just control the Y, the bottom one now, and there it is. It's the same circuit as above, so it's activating the same way. A NOT gate is just going to output whatever is not being inputted. So if a 1 is being inputted, the output is not going to be a 1, which is a 0. If a 0 is being inputted right here, the output is going to be a 1, which is not 0. Okay, so that's it. That's what you're doing on this activity. Make sure you walk through. You do these. They get progressively a little more involved. You only have two variables at this point, so just two switches looking at these different gates. Okay, when you're done, let me know if you have any questions.